Thanks, Heather. Andy, I really appreciate you being here with us today and sitting down and answering some questions.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited to take some questions.
So, Andy, what trust behaviors should be the main focus with guests in our showrooms?
Well, when the guests come in, I think they have a preconceived notion about what's going to happen with the car buying process. So the best thing to do is surprise them, right? So I'm going to be very not pushy. I'm going to help you relax. I'm going to help you look at our vehicles. I'm going to help you, but I'm not going to sell you a car that you don't want.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, which trust behaviors should I focus with my management on?
We're all, whether we realize it or not, we're influencing all the time. So you're piling up respect, admiration, and trust. And when it comes time to choose the new leader, it's whoever has the highest pile. So all the time, think about this. You're going to apply for the job and you have a 30-minute interview. You're going to change their mind of what they've seen in the last 8 years. What are you going to say? If you promote me, I'm going to start coming to work on time, do my job, and get along with others. That's the promise I can make if you promote me. And of course not. We're influencing every day. And then at that moment, they decide who's going up. So the answer is focus each day on increasing management's trust, admiration, and respect in you.
Gotcha. Now, what trust behaviors should I maybe focus on with my colleagues?
So people are at different levels, so it depends, but I have an idea that a servant leader is the kind of person who stands behind you and makes your life easier. So even if you're an individual contributor, you can ask yourself, with my colleagues, is it fun to work with me? When you applied to Lexus, sure, they had a look at your resume, but what they were looking for is, are you fun to work with? Do you make me better? Are you helpful? Can I count on you? So the servant leader is a philosophy that the people that I work with, I'm going to serve them to help them do a better job and help make their life easier.
Absolutely. Now, why is it so hard to influence people?
Because people are annoying. That is what the truth is. If you think about it, everybody likes their ideas because it's their idea. Right. We hate it, but we're a little bit hypocritical, right? We like to win. We like to seem important. So everybody wants to do things their way. They don't want to do it your way. So it's just human nature. And I say that sort of as a joke, but if you remember when you're consciously trying to influence people that it's not human nature to do what other people want you to do and to necessarily embrace the facts, as we discussed, especially if you don't understand them. So if you accept that people are going to be difficult, instead of just hoping everyone's going to be rational, you will be more deliberate and think about the few things I have to do to influence this person.
Gotcha. I like that. Now, what is the most important single factor in influencing others?
Well, in my talk, I think it was back to that liking, right? It's do they like you? And it makes, I think, particularly young people I found have a resistance to this that, I don't really maybe care if someone likes me or not.
Exactly like
and I'm certainly not picking on young people because I would not be the first old person to pick on young people. Socrates, 500 years BC, said young people today are running things into the ground, and clearly every generation proves to be better than the one that comes before it. That said, young people want to be authentic, and I get it. But what authentic means is you be the real best version of you, and that is going to cause me to be business-liked. And business-liked is I'm going to behave in such a way that your respect for me, your admiration for me, and your trust for me goes up every time you interact with me.
And that's exactly what you want. Last question. Is this something that you can apply to your personal life? Let's say perhaps use on your spouse or something?
Of course. Here's a story about shortly after I was married, my wife came in the living room and said, "You want to go to Montana? My cousin's getting married." And of course, I don't want to go to Montana. And it was horrible circumstances. It was the busiest weekend of my life. Spring semester ended on Friday. Summer school started on Monday. 800 grades due Tuesday night, right? I remember it was 3 plane legs. We're going to try to go on Saturday and Sunday, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 plane legs, land somewhere in Montana, get a rent-a-car, 160 miles to the bar where they're getting married. And I'd met these relatives before, didn't have a burning urge to see them again so soon,
Right.
if you know what I mean. So here's the key, and actually this comes out at work as well. The key to these ideas I've talked about today is that when you see an influence opportunity, almost a warning has to go off. And that's what happened. She asked me if I wanted to go to Montana, and my brain said, warning, warning, influence opportunity. And I thought, there's what she said and what I heard. But there's what she's thinking, what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. What she's thinking is, does my new husband love me enough to go to Montana on the busiest weekend of his life? Of course, not a total moron. Right. The answer to that is yes. But what she said is, do you want to go to Montana? And what I heard is, do I have to go to Montana? But what I'm thinking is, do I want to spend $3,000 on the busiest weekend of my life to fly to the middle of nowhere?
You sure?
But what I said is, that sounds interesting.
Right.
And I said it with great enthusiasm. So if you're going to protect, respect, admiration, trust, I will go see your relatives, right? That sounds interesting. Yeah. You're at work, someone's got a bad idea. You don't have to tell them it's a bad idea, just, that's an idea.
Right.
You ever find yourself, someone says some nut job thing to you, and you have to talk, but you're literally, what can I say? Try this. Is that right? Get you out of everything.
That works. That works. Well, I really appreciate your time today, Andy. And back to you, Heather.